Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'm going to fulfill a request from one of my favorite commenters here. And the request was, hey, Scott, you're talking about Vivek Ramaswamy establishing a Department of Hollywood. What would their policies be? That's a very good question. I'm going to answer that today. So first of all, just let me do the setup real quick. So I believe that the best path to victory for Vivek Ramaswamy to win specifically to win the 2024 U.S. presidential election is to right now explain to everybody that he will be establishing a Department of Hollywood, and that Department of Hollywood will massively regulate Hollywood and specifically all art, all entertainment that it creates, right? And so you're like, Scott, why would actually Vivek's against? He's going to be breaking departments apart. Why would he do this? Because here's the thing, in 2023, we understand this, right? It could not be more clear. All Hollywood does is create political speech, which converts into political action, right? They have completely they have determined the shape of the American family, determined the shape of the American identity, determined the shape of how we spend our money, determined the shape of our behavior, American behavior, right? That's the issue, is basically Hollywood has been using political speech, converting it into political action for decades. And now, on the other side of this, you're like, no, Scott, that's not true. Conceal your flapping maw. I'll explain it to you right now. This is not a joke. It's going to sound like a joke. It's not a joke. A story in the Wall Street Journal this week was Dave Chappelle, a longtime comedian, stood in front of a big brick wall, picked up a microphone, and said a joke. And that's why this is a story in the Wall Street Journal, an iconic American newspaper. The reason the Wall Street Journal is saying, hey, everybody, it's a news story that a comedian stood in front of a brick wall and told a joke with a microphone, is because it's nothing but political speech aimed at creating political action, which is what happens. And it's all over, right? Jada Pinkett Smith, right? Like, it has dominated the entertainment news, and a reason why, and the regular news, because we all understand. Jada Pinkett Smith was saying, hey, here's some political speech. Monogamy and one person marrying another person is stupid. We're gonna take these monogamous marriages and turn them into polyamory. And I'm gonna tell you, for 7 years it works. And we're gonna show you with the shiniest Hollywood celebrities that it works. Oh, I lied. We lied right to your face for 7 years. Buy my book, right? Like, it's political speech. She was literally attempting to change the shape of the American family. That's massive political speech that directly impacts taxes, laws, right? Contracts, everything, right? Political speech, right? And converting it into political action. Very specific, very direct, right? Very interesting, yeah. So basically, we need this Department of Hollywood. It's extremely important. So what would their policies be? Great question. Here you go. I'll knock them out. There's 4 right out of the gate, right? Movie length. The Congress, the Senate get together, and they're like, let's make a law. If you're gonna release a movie in America, it's 90 minutes to... It's 90 plus 60 is 150. It's 90 to 150 minutes long. Not 1 minute longer and not 1 minute shorter. Because we got documentarians releasing movies in movie theaters so that they can get, like, an Oscar that are 40 minutes long, right? And you're like, wait, you can't go to the movies for 40 minutes. That doesn't make any sense. And then you have Martin Scorsese saying, you're going to sit for this for 3.5 hours. And then, and you're going to have to see this movie twice. So I'm going to take 7 hours of your life, because nobody reasonably can not go to the bathroom in 3.5 hours, right? So, like, you have people like Martin Scorsese saying, I demand 7 hours of your life and $30 to see this film. That's ludicrous, right? And America needs protection from it. We make a law. You make an American movie, that movie is 90 minutes to 150 minutes, period. Done. End of sentence. Not 1 minute longer and not 1 minute shorter, right? Then the trope shutdown, right? We make a law, a Senate law. Oh, hey, Department of Hollywood agent here. This is my partner, my partner, Mr. Pellor, right? Like, and we're here. Can we see your script? We heard that you have created a script in which you're making a movie about two police officers, and one of the police officers' partner died. One of the police officers' partner had died before the film starts, and now he's getting a new partner, and he wants to work alone. Is that correct? Is that in your script? Can we see your script? Oh my gosh, you have a scene in here where you have a detective, and their partner died, and they don't want a new detective. Shut it down, everybody! Shut it down. Break down the set. All of you are under arrest. You cannot make these. The law was passed 3 years ago. We put a hiatus for 7 years. Absolutely no one was allowed to make any movies where a detective's partner has died and they don't want a new partner. Shut it down, peeps. There you go. Like, policy, right? Trope protection. America needs that protection. No American ever needs to see another movie where a detective's partner died and they don't want a new one, right? Like, it's needed. Like, these are the laws we actually need, right? And you're like, Scott, why is that important? Because entertainment is massively important to America, and we need to fill our hearts and minds with useful things, not incredibly repetitive, lazy. And this is why the Hollywood writers went on strike, and everybody was like, that's fine. We really don't care that you're on strike. You've turned out junk for 30 years. You haven't produced a decent script in like 30 years. We really don't care that you're on strike. It was like a thing. Like, no one cared until the Hollywood actors went on strike. They're like, oh my gosh, what? So then the last two is message restriction and message frequency, right? Message restriction. If we'll make, the Department of Hollywood will receive your request, Hollywood, to make another movie where the Earth is in trouble because we didn't we didn't fix our carbon output. Hollywood is not allowed to make another stupid movie that denigrates and insults people for driving cool cars, right? Nobody wants to eat that nobody wants to drive that hummus-powered Tesla you have, right? Like, Americans need protection from this nonsense, right? And we don't need to be bullied or frightened or scared into abandoning obsidian energy in exchange for green energy, right? Fossil fuels work fine. We have a 400-year reserve of them, right? And this is a hobby horse that Hollywood will not get off until the Department of Hollywood says, you guys need to put in a request to make another movie about the dangers of climate change, right? Like, that cannot be in your sci-fi film or in your thriller, right? Because we already have 100 of them, right? And we'll consider your request, and we might give you like a waiver if you're Guillermo del Toro and you got a cool spin on it, right? And then frequency, right? And then because like the environmental issue, right? And there's like 6 other, pet subjects that Hollywood is like, oh, everything in this movie needs to be in this box, right? And so we would make this, message where like they're like, hey everybody, we're Hollywood. We have some political speech. We want you to turn this into political action for us, right? And so we're gonna tell you this thing to do, and then you're gonna do it. And were you hoping there'd be a story in this movie? No, it's just our message to you, right? And there's some attractive people, right? But we're not gonna write a story. We're just gonna write a message. Eternals, Marvel Eternals, nothing but message, no story, and nobody cared, right? Like, and so not only is there this restricted listed, like an environmental bullying would be first on that restricted list for message, right? And there'd be like 6 other things. It'd be like, hey, we know you guys care about this, Hollywood, you care about this more than anything in the world, right? And that you want to reshape everything for these 6 special topics, right? But the reality is right now there's a message restriction, and get this, there is this message frequency, right? So we're giving you, you have to submit a request to make this movie. And the reason why is we're only going to allow 3 environment change movies a year now, right? We're going to set the frequency by setting restrictions, right? So those are the policies that I would put in for Vivek Ramaswamy to roll out the Department of Hollywood. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is the Republicans are going to love this, man. We've been getting kicked in the teeth, virtually by Hollywood for decades, right? And they have completely reshaped the shape of the family, our behavior, the way we spend money, everything, right? Through political speech in entertainment. And now Hollywood's going to be like, we're not going to stop you. We're going to control you. We're going to control every bit of it, right? And Republicans are going to get very excited about this. The Department of Hollywood, it's the way Vivek Ramaswamy can win the 2024 U.S. presidential election. He will absolutely dominate the news with this. And every Hollywood person will be like, this is terrible, we shouldn't do it. And the Republicans are going to be silent as a ghost, and then just going to vote Vivek Ramaswamy in exactly the way they did with President Donald Trump in 2016. Republicans just lie to the pollsters and then elect who they want. That's how it gets done. All right, every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.